Hello, Beauty News family. Welcome to the March episode of Beauty News. We're going to update you guys on some new releases. There's some new brand news that I think we're chomping at the bit to discuss. So if it's okay, we might start with that. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, look, it's probably, to be fair, the most interesting news of the past month, and I feel like it's just going to get more interesting as time goes on.
So Mikayla Nogueira, did I say that right? I don't know. You have to forgive us on this because I don't think either of us follow her very closely. She doesn't even show up in my TikTok algorithm.
Neither, but I'm actually really upset that I've been doing research for this story, so now she's going to pop up everywhere, and
she's going to be everywhere for you. Yeah, she will be. And look, it's not, I don't think it's because neither of us dislike her. Like, for me personally, she doesn't show up because no beauty content shows up in my algorithm. That's just the way that I've got it set up. I just don't think she's like super on our radar and probably, doesn't like fit into the category of content that we watch.
Fair. I also think that what I have seen from her, it gives me very much Jaclyn Hill vibes, but new generation.
Yes.
So there's a lot of
100%. I do agree with
inauthenticity, a lot of stuff that she does that seems a bit shady. So she's got obviously a lot of supporters. If you've never heard of her, she was pretty much the OG TikTok beauty creator, which is why she became so popular. Yep. So everyone was focusing on Instagram and YouTube, and she sort of cornered the market when TikTok became a huge thing and became a huge creator. I think she's got like 16 million followers or something on there. But she's finally launching a brand. She's announced it. It's launching from when we're filming in 2 days' time, but it'll be up by the time you're watching this. It's Point of View Beauty, or POV Beauty for short. And there's a lot to unpack here, so it is going to be a bit of a discussion. I was talking to Hailey before this and we're sort of discussing what we're going to talk about this episode. We think that what we're going to do is actually buy the range each, try it, and then check back with you and give you updates on what we think about it and what sort of the industry is thinking about it. So this is going to be a discussion where we might do a bit more of a deep dive. So if you have certain opinions or you've seen something that you want us to cover that we haven't discussed in this video, we will probably do a dedicated video to it probably next month when we've received and tried the products. But what are the products? So apparently, again, I'm not a viewer, so I don't know, she's apparently goes on a lot about how important skin prep is, because she's got dry skin, and to get makeup that looks good, you need to put effort into your skin prep. I agree with that. Yeah, sure. So she's actually released a skin prep line. This is formulated and made in Korea. It contains, there's essentially like a hydrating toner that the main ingredient is fermented rice water. There is a hydrating sort of glowy serum. There's also a moisturizer, a primer that's supposed to help grip the skin, but also make it look a little bit glass-like, I suppose. And then there's also a lip serum that's like a lip ampule, they call it. So it's sort of like it's supposed to be more of an intense lip treatment. So very much hydrating skincare. The way they sort of talk about it is that this is an area that people neglect in the skincare sort of realm. So she's padding out the skin prep, not necessarily skincare. It's like the sort of makeup prep sort of part of the industry. So playing on the screen, you'll see her walk up to a table full of makeup. There's a lot of makeup on there, and she sweeps it aside and then reveals her 5-step system. And the caption is, "Less clutter, more impact. Your beauty routine is about to be simplified." Now, the funny thing about this is it's implying that you can get rid of all your makeup because you've got this routine. It's almost like giving you a vibe that it's like the Becca Invisible foundation thing where this is going to replace your makeup. It doesn't. It's actually in addition to your makeup. So here's all this clutter plus another 5 items that you need to create to make these items look better. Now, the one thing I do like about this range, firstly, it seems like it has been formulated fairly well in I am assuming, pretty good labs, but also it's supposed to not clash with makeup. Now, Will it not clash with all makeup? Hailey can talk about that in a second. But if you have like those like peeling, like the peeling sort of issue when you put skincare on and then makeup on the top, this is supposed to really work well with makeup. At least her favourite makeup, she says. So whatever that means.
Yeah, and I think, I think everybody who has a love for beauty products has experienced skincare that doesn't work with makeup at least once in their life. We all know what it feels like and looks like for makeup to pill up on top of your skin. So when it balls up and you get those little lumps of product and you have to try and dust it away. Sometimes you can use a towel to wipe it off. Sometimes
that was me today.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Sometimes you try and dust it off with your fingers. Often it really does sort of stick on the face. It's quite hard to deal with, and sometimes when you start to like dust some of it away, it just pills up even more. It
can break down your makeup as well. So a lot of the time people are like, my makeup's breaking down, and they're not realizing that they're actually putting makeup on top of skincare that clashes and are separating against each other. Yeah.
So when you're talking about hydrating skincare, look, personally, and I'm going to talk about this from a personal view and a makeup artist view, I personally feel that hydrating skincare and base prep is the safest and often the most appropriate to use for all skin types, because even if you have oily skin, hydrating skincare can really help to support your skin to reduce oil production throughout the day. If you're combo, same thing. If you have dry skin, obviously you want hydration, mostly for comfort and for the way that makeup is going to sit on the skin and look. So I actually think that this is a fantastic starting point. I do definitely think that certain skin types will also need other supporting products in their routine to sort of help their makeup longevity and the way that it looks on the skin throughout the day. But I think a really big issue that a lot of people have no idea about, and they learn the hard way, and sometimes they never actually learn this, they'll maybe go to the internet searching for answers, is if you are pairing certain skincare products with certain makeup products, you can have ingredients that clash. So let's say, for example, and we don't know this for sure, let's say this is a water-based skin prep routine from Mikayla's brand. If you were then to go in with a silicone-based makeup item or an oil-based makeup item, 100% they're not going to work together. They're going to clash and break down, and that's a really big issue that a lot of people just don't realize. They don't realize that, it sounds like common sense because we all know oil and water doesn't mix. But a lot of people just don't realize that with their full routine. Yeah. So when she says that this will work with everything, I'm like, well, you can't make that claim because
unless they test everything.
Correct. It's simply not factual. If you have a water-based selection of skincare products and you're using water-based makeup items on top of it, that's going to be amazing. It's going to last throughout the day. And that also applies if you have a silicone routine or an oil-based routine. But when you're mixing and matching, that's when we get issues. Yeah. So I think that's a really important factor. And I suspect as these products come to market and people are buying them and trying them, you're going to see a lot of people saying, oh, it actually doesn't work with this foundation or this concealer or, this cream bronzer or whatever. I think that's where we are definitely going to see issues. And because they have marketed the products in the way that they have, saying that this is like the bee's knees, the be all and end all of skin prep pre-makeup, I think that's what people are going to sort of latch onto when they're having issues. And I think that'd be one of the big sort of downfalls not a downfall of the brand, but like
the main
that'll be
criticism
one
of the brand, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
the criticism, that is a better word. Yeah.
I think you're right, but also I think that what brands should start doing is on the back of the label or something is actually specify, is it oil-based, water-based or silicone-based? Because a lot of the time
Yes,
the ingredients aren't just like, oh, it contains blah oil. It usually has a very, like a more scientific ingredient name where not everyone knows
Correct.
what's an oil and what's a silicone.
That's
So
right.
I think if they had that, it would make life a bit easier just for makeup users. But I think, look, I agree with you. I don't necessarily think that this is going to fix everyone's issue. I think she's also inflating a bigger issue that isn't actually really there. Like, she's saying that she's almost like filled a gap in the market, but I don't think it's necessarily filled because she's taking products that you can buy from other brands. So a hydrating serum, a hydrating toner, like a moisturizer, these types of products, and then just putting it in a system saying this will work for you. But you can still go and find those elsewhere. She's not reinventing the wheel, she's repackaging the wheel essentially. So I think she's making out that there is a bigger issue in the makeup community than there actually is, and she's trying to help people fill it. Now, when it comes to, like, we've seen a bit of information about possible pricing. I actually think the pricing's not bad for Korean, you know, I'm assuming custom developed products. They've got custom packaging, like the moisturizer you can twist and a little spatula pops out. So like the fact that they've put a lot of effort into this, I'd say it's not just like black labeled stuff. I reckon she's actually formulated, and she's not doing a Jaclyn Hill where it's like just trying to find the cheapest thing to make a brand and make a buck. I think there's a lot of integrity put behind it. I still don't love her, and I still think that this is just a repackaged hydrating skincare routine. I also think it's a bit misleading because where does this fit with your normal skincare routine? If she's creating a new area of skincare, which is called skin prep, well, where does your sunscreen fit? Where does your other items fit? So I think it's sort of blurring things a bit and making things a little bit more confusing rather than making things easier. There is some drama with the name. I'm going to talk about it briefly, but I don't think it is, like, don't think it's drama. I'm just going to put it out there. So there is a Canadian brand, a small indie brand called POV Beauty, which I believe started at the start of last year. Now, this brand of Mikayla's was in the works for 2 years, which I believe, like, there's been a lot of work gone into it. And also they have, like, Mikayla has the handle on Instagram, POV Beauty. This other one has povbeauty.ca. So it's not as if Mikayla's stealing it of this Canadian brand. I actually feel like that they were conceived at a similar time, and Mikayla probably got in there earlier based on just the Instagram handle. So probably POV Beauty wasn't available for this Canadian brand because Mikayla had it. She also trademarked a bunch of terms started last year, a couple months after this POV Beauty brand started. So I think it was a bad coincidence, but a lot of people are in the comments of whenever, like, anyone talks about this being like, she stole the name, she stole it off a Canadian brand, da 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 da. She didn't. I think it's a really unfortunate coincidence, but it also highlights that if you are even the smallest brand, if you don't trademark your fucking name, you may lose it, and that is on you. It's not on Mikayla, who probably searched the name, probably realized no one had it. They did a trademark search, no one had it. This was in development way before this other brand, I have no doubt, because if you're thinking about small brands that are, you know, creating small batches, you can do that a lot faster than launching a global brand. This is a bad coincidence, but time and time again, we see these issues come up. If you're a small brand and you don't trademark your name, you can lose it. It is what it is. So it's not a Mikayla.
Absolutely.
I don't like Mikayla, but I will fucking die on this hill. It is not her problem. It is the small indie brand's problem. Like, you don't have a name unless you trademark it. I'm just going to put it out there.
I 100% agree with you. I think, like, if you look at any brand anywhere, and I'm not just talking about beauty related products, any brand that wants to have both feet steady on the ground, they need to trademark things. And it's not actually trademarking isn't really difficult. It is complicated, but if you do your research on it, anybody can do it. You don't technically need a a trademark lawyer to do it. You can apply for your trademarks yourself. It's much easier if you can pay someone else to do it. So I wouldn't expect a small brand to be able to do that. But if they wanted to trademark their name, they could have. And you can apply for a trademark years before the brand even comes to market.
Yeah. And that's the thing that but I find it, I just want to clarify this as well. This person, this POV Beauty Canadian brand, did post a thing on Instagram. It was in French, so there's I found a translation on Reddit, so I don't know how accurate that translation is. But talking about putting all their savings into this brand, if you can't set aside $1,000 or something to hire someone to trademark your name, you should not be putting any money into your brand. If you can't afford that as part of your expense, that's what you call a life lesson, not Mikayla is the bad witch stealing your brand. That's not the case at all. I think it's just a sad coincidence, and I side with Mikayla here.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't think that this is a case of Jacqueline Hill and Cozy. That situation, Cozy was established. So I think it's the situations simply are not the same. But also, even if Mikayla 2 years ago was doing her research and choosing names and stuff, if she Googled POV Beauty or Point of View Beauty, there's no reason to expect a very small French Canadian brand. And from what Kat has said, they actually only launched last year, early 2024, I think. So how would she know that they exist? It doesn't, if the brand had been around for 3 years, 4 years, 5, 10, whatever, you could expect it to pop up somewhere. But for this one, I can respect that the smaller brand is upset by this happening. I imagine it's so fucking frustrating. And if it was me in that position, I'd be frustrated as well. And I'd probably be kicking myself. But also, if I had started up a brand, I would have had my trademarks up and running before I'd even launched the brand. So
I do think you said something that was what I would be doing as well. I'd be kicking myself. I wouldn't be lashing out and tagging Mikayla and her brand, being like, you've stolen my brand, essentially. I would be going, I'm such a fucking idiot. Why didn't I trademark my fucking brand name? But also probably what they'll find is that even if they tried to trademark a name, it was probably hers was pending anyway and they couldn't get it. So don't make packaging, don't make logos. Valid. Don't do it until you can have the name. It's just fucking common sense.
Yes. And you probably find that Mikayla did trademark everything, or at least put in her application for everything well before there was even a hint of any of this coming up online. She's probably started the trademark process before she's even mentioned she's been working on a brand for 2 years. These things all, when you are setting up a legitimate business like this, if she wants this to have legs and continue on in, the distant future, you have to have these things in place. You're not technically a serious brand unless you have trademarked your name and a lot of your So anyway, it's unfortunate for the smaller brand, but I can't say that I feel that this is Mikayla's fault.
Absolutely not. But in saying that, we will move on very shortly. But in saying that, do I think this brand is going to be a household brand in the future? I actually don't think so, unless she can keep bringing out innovative stuff to add to the range. I sort of feel like this concept, it could be really interesting. Maybe there's the odd product in there that people really love. The price point is not too bad. There was someone on TikTok complaining about how it was luxury prices. I don't know what they fucking think luxury prices are, but like $35 for a serum is not luxury price, whatever it is, $36, not luxury prices. That's actually pretty decent. I was expecting higher. But my question is, are people going to twig that this is just hydrating skincare and that they can go anywhere and get something similar? So does it stand out from the rest? Is it way better than what you can get from Innisfree, Isn't-Tree and Laneige, like those kind of brands? Like, is it something that is way better than that? Because if it's not, it's just going to fade into the background. It's going to have a huge spike with her supporters at the start, and then it's just going to dwindle off, and then it's going to be like potentially the next Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics where, you start seeing it in retailers and then pulled out because it's just not getting the repeat purchases. So I don't know. I think influencer brands these days, unless you've got a really great idea for a long-term release strategy and you're actually going to set yourself apart from other brands, I think it's super, like, you're on thin ice because so many of them have failed in the past. I can't think of many that are still going long-term and that will outlast the creator's popularity.
I do think that it appears on face value that she has put in effort though, which I appreciate. And I want to give props where props are due on that. And I'm interested in trying it because I was saying to Kat, I like to test things out for myself and develop my own opinion on it. So yeah, I'll buy it. I will line her pockets a little bit, but if it's not good, like, I'm not going to
mention it.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush, basically.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on to collaborations. There's only a few. They're all kind of shit. Like, not shit, but like they're all very juvenile. And if that's your thing, like, get your credit card out. So the first one is ColourPop and Toy Story. So we were actually talking about this before and sort of wondering who is this targeted towards. The interesting thing about Toy Story is I think the first one launched in like 95 and then there's one that's coming next year. So if you were like a kid at any point in time from 95 through to next year, this could appeal to you. So there we go. Like, there's actually a wide range here. But there is an eyeshadow palette. It's very colourful. There's a Play All Day Jelly Much eyeshadow trio, the BFF volumizing mascara in Raw, which is green. There is, I kind of want this, the Chosen One Sour Candy Lip Mask. I will take that, thank you very much. Yeah. And then there's an ultra glossy lip in Buzzin' About, Favorite Deputy, and Peep This, and Yeehaw. Yeehaw? Yeehaw? Yeehaw. No, it's like Yeehaw. It's YEEHAW. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's whore. I mean...
Whore.
Whore!
It's a whore.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
It's a whore.
I like the green mascara. I don't like their formula though, so I would...
Yeah, I know. I like... Look, there's some things about this where I'm like, yeah, I think it's cute, but I think I'm just not this person.
I'm not that person either.
Yeah, I'm not this person. Yeah, and that's okay. We have another collaboration, and I feel the same way about this, but I'm probably even a little bit more removed from it because I've never played this. It's from NYX. It's with Minecraft. So they've basically created these little, like... I mean, Minecraft blocks, I suppose, but they're makeup items, which is kind of cute, kind of a little bit different. Like, I don't hate it, I just don't want it. They've got Cheeky Mob Balms and Rare Highlight Balms. So it appears that there's 3 shades of each. There's also a little compact mirror and some fat oil slick clicks. Oh my lord.
That sounds horrible. I don't want that anywhere near me.
That sounds so bad. Don't give them to your children. It sounds...
Look, my kids would love playing with those little blocks.
Oh, they would.
If I had those in a drawer, they would be all over the bloody house. Look, we're not the target audience for Minecraft, but at the same time... Again, Minecraft, the game, has been around for quite a long time, so you could have theoretically played it as a kid and then grown up and enjoyed this, but also a movie is coming out, so it's an appropriate release, and it's likely more in collaboration with the movie than the game, because these look more movie-esque rather than 100%. The game. So
I agree.
I'll accept it. I won't buy it. I'll accept it. One thing I won't accept is this new-ish Pat McGrath Candy Crush collection. What is this? There's 2 nail polishes, 2 lip glosses, 2 lipsticks. They have that sort of candy cane red and white lined packaging.
It looks like Christmas.
It looks like Christmas. I don't understand. And I think these are all sort of repackaged shades that we've seen before.
Probably.
I don't even understand. And it says Sugar, Spice and Divine. It's saying how it's inspired by Candy Crush Saga's iconic energy and boldness. This isn't what the game looks like anyway. I don't play the game, but I know that this is not what the game looks like. So I don't even understand what the fuck this is.
I don't get this. Look, you guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always thought that Candy Crush was just an iPhone game.
Yes.
Or maybe you can also play it on an iPad. I don't know. I don't care. Why do we need this?
We don't.
And who is so obsessed with look, if this is you, I'm not trying to have a dig at you. I'm more having a dig at Pat McGrath because I think this is just fucking bizarre. But who is so obsessed with Candy Crush that they want to buy Candy Crush themed makeup?
Not me.
This would have been so much better if she had released this as like a pocket collection at Christmas time.
I agree.
Without Candy Crush on the, like...
Yes.
Fuck.
Pat McGrath also has released a new Mothership palette because we need more of those in our lives, apparently.
Yes.
So this is available now. It's the Mothership 12 Petal Morphosis. So essentially this looks to me to be very spring-like because it does have mauves, soft sort of dusty pinks. It's got a little bit of greens. To me it's very floral. It looks very floral. Pretty much I think the only main difference between this and other Mothership palettes is you can pick if you want the purple case or the traditional black case. I have to say though, one thing that, like, this is pretty and all, and they always make it look nice in the swatches. We've talked about this many times, that they're very good with the lighting and photography to make things look very appealing, and then when you get them you're like, oh, it's okay. But I have to say, like, they lack so much innovation these days. I think what Pat McGrath brought to the table back in the day was something different, and now it's like rinse and repeat every time, and it's getting very tiring.
Boring.
The last thing I want to do in my life is buy another Mothership palette because I know I declutter them anyway, and they're like, there's nothing new here. There's nothing new here.
But also, these retail in Australian dollars
ridiculously
$230. Like, it's just obscene. I can't even get over it. Like, I would never spend that money on a Pat McGrath palette in my life. It's I can't. It's not worth it.
And we've learned our lesson.
We've done it. But I just do not feel that, like, it's worth it. I definitely think there's a lot of like really beautiful sparkly formulas in this, which I really like, but also fuck no. We also have some eyeshadowy eye bits from Urban Decay. That sounds gross, but these don't look gross, so it's okay, don't stress. We've got the 24/7 Glaze On Liquid Eyeshadows. So they're calling these a beginner-friendly eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadow, that has a built-in brush. So the packaging, it almost looks like a concealer, but when you pull it out, there's a brush in there. Yeah, an eyeshadow.
Do you know what that means though?
Brush.
It's gonna fray in. It's gonna annoy me.
Absolutely. End. No, the packaging is absolute trash. It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so bad. And you know what?
I'm getting angry.
I know, right? But let me make you even more angry. Get ready for it, viewers at home as well. It's aimed at beginners, so people who are like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no brushes. Eyeshadow, this will do it all for me. they're not going to realize that the brush is going to fray every time that they stick it back in. They're going to pull it out one day and there's just going to be hairs all like this. It's going to flick eyeshadow. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And it's going to be chunked up with product, so hard to blend. It's horrendous. Anyway, it's fine.
But do you know what annoys me is that they've got a Space Cowboy Intense, and I would buy
want
that.
it. Well, if it
wasn't for the packaging, I would buy it.
You have to buy it, and you've got to try it out, and then you've got every time you pull it out, you've got to take a really quick video on your phone to show what the brush looks like.
Do like a time lapse kind of thing of all the times I open it, and does it go more and more like this over time?
Yeah, use it every day for a month. I guarantee you that is going to be
challenge accepted.
Absolute
challenge accepted.
It's definitely a brush. Like, it's not a sponge applicator.
No,
I'm sure.
It's a brush. It looks like a legit brush.
Yes, it does. Anyway, this appears to come in 6 shades. Is that correct? Yes, 6 shades. They're saying it lasts up to 15 hours for a glazed and glowing eye look, and you have to shake to activate it. They're going to be $26 each. Then we have eyeshadow sticks. So these are the naked eyeshadow sticks, $25 each. They are cream eyeshadows that can be blended for a soft blur effect. 8 shades. They come in like cool and warm shimmers and mattes. And they're supposed to be crease proof and fade proof for up to 16 hours. These are available now.
Excellent. Let's jump to some cheek products. We've got lots of stick stuff happening, or cream stuff happening, I suppose.
Yes.
The first one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, we swear they've had these time and time again. So what is going on? Are they just like discontinuing stuff, pretend they never happened, and then bringing new stuff out? Yeah. So these are the Smooth Blur Cream Contour Sticks. There's only 4 shades available. They're ultra lightweight, creamy formula with dewy, skin-like finish, gel-like texture, sculpts and defines, lightweight coverage, vitamin E, $32. There is a fair to light skin one, a light to medium, medium to tan, and tan to deep. So they're launching on the 27th of March. These look fine. They do really jump with the shades though, don't they? I feel like there's got to be a couple in between. Like the light to the second and then the second to the third. That is like a huge skip.
Yeah. But also, because they say it's like a dewy skin-like finish, I wonder if these are actually meant to be quite subtle on the skin.
Yeah.
So maybe the large shade jump is not necessarily like a huge issue. Like, because I'm thinking in my head, maybe it's kind of like, a tinted foundation or a skin tint or something like that. I don't know.
Or maybe it's something that you can sort of build up but then blend out as well, so you can customize it a bit.
Yeah,
but I still look at those, like the people, like the models that have it on. It does look very grey. So if you want like that contour grey, this looks like contour grey. But half tone, which is a light one, and through to shadow, I feel like if I was going down this path, I'd need to mix the two, which is...
I agree.
It gets expensive.
Oh, it does. Look, I don't really have an issue with like mixing makeup to create a custom shade, but I'm in that camp if you already own it. Not if you're going to buy 2 shades of a new product to make it work for you. Yeah, that's kind of where I draw the line. We have to talk about this new benefit release because what the fuck took them so long? This is crazy.
They should have released this 5 years ago. That's what they should have done.
Even 10.
Yeah.
It would have been appropriate back then as well. This is the Hoola Wave Bronzing Balm. So it's a soft buttery balm version of the original Hoola. It's got a 12-hour long wear, waterproof, sweat-proof, smudge-proof, transfer-resistant, contains jojoba seed oil, shea butter, and avocado oil. It's also rich in omega fatty acids. It sounds quite heavy, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it
saying
does.
all of that's in there.
I wonder how that's going to sit over the skin prep, the watery skin prep routine with all those oils.
Yeah. So it comes in 5 shades. You've got original, light, medium, medium deep, and deep. It just comes in like a round compact. I don't know what took them so long. Not even,
True.
like, honestly, what
True.
were they doing with their lives?
I don't... And also, Hula is one of those things where they've had great success with, but people have moved on from. So you think that they would be on the front foot about, like, keeping it relevant rather than letting it die off, have a new generation of makeup users who have never heard of it and don't give a shit about it, and then probably don't care about this release. Like, it just seems very odd.
It's funny, though. I feel like Benefit always do that.
They do, don't
Like, they're always a little bit kind of, like, slow to the table. It's, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like whoever is sort of running the show there in terms of, like, coming out with new products is, like, I'm excited to innovate for this brand.
It's probably some like really old dude who's like nearly getting ready to retire and he's like, well, the books say that this works and let's just, I don't know. Remember how they spent so much money on that innovative gel click liner where the gel would come out and they were talking about spending like years and years on it, and then where has that gone? That's dead because they spent all their money.
I don't even think you
on
can
trying to
buy that
reinvent the wheel.
anymore.
No, you can't. And I think it's been gone for a long time. So if people are like, what are you talking about, Kat? I'll try to have photos on the screen. But like, oh, a balm version of their most popular bronzer? Nah, no way. But let's spend like millions and millions of dollars on this clicky, stupid pen thing when in reality people just prefer to use a pot gel or a liquid liner. Like, it's not that fucking...
I know.
Anyway, whatever.
I know.
Moving on. I'm getting aggravated.
Yes.
Let's move on to Charlotte Tilbury. This is something that's coming out. It kind of looks cute. It's giving me major Too Faced meets Sailor Moon vibes. So it's like if Sailor Moon, Charlotte Tilbury and Too Faced had a baby, this would be it. But I'm assuming this is going to be like a Valentine's Day collection. That's the vibe I'm getting. But these are new additions to the Pillow Talk range. There's Pillow Talk Soulmates Face Palette, $50 each. That's quite expensive. It's a heart-shaped blush and highlighter palette. It's got two different shades, so one pink and one peach. Then we have the Pillow Talk Kissing Lipsticks. I actually really like these lipstick formulas, to be fair. And this is in Love Talk and Kiss Talk. So again, it's just the nice little heart gem on the lid. That's the main difference. The Matte Revolution lipsticks as well. So there's Dream Talk and Naughty Talk. So they're coming soon.
We have a new base product from L'Oreal, which could be interesting. So this is the Infallible Skin Ink. It's currently available in Europe. I imagine it'll be coming to other markets very soon. They're saying it's a foundation and a concealer that offers a flawless complexion for up to 48 hours, which is big claims. So it's got the coverage of a foundation with the concealing power of a concealer for a flawless matte soft finish. Now, it comes in 15 shades. It's transfer resistant to water and to heat. What I think is interesting about making that claim, like the coverage of a foundation with the concealing power of a concealer, that's just a high coverage foundation.
It is.
Just in case you weren't paying attention.
And it is a matte soft finish. So for a lot of people that actually won't work for like an under eye concealer.
Yeah.
To be fair, I love the idea of a concealer and a foundation in one because it's just so much easier, and that's...
I agree.
I honestly can't be fucked with on a daily basis. I'm swearing a lot. My kids aren't in the house, so I'm just like, let it go.
Let it fly.
I'm going to take the opportunity while I can. So sorry, it is what it is. I really can't be fucked every day going in with a concealer, and I get bitter that I have to use 2 steps. So if I have one that can be built up and sort of set nicely.
That's exactly right.
Versus, and then also it spreads out enough that I don't have to have full coverage in other areas. Like, I'm a happy camper. I'm going to try this. To be fair, that new Maybelline foundation that I think we had here before the US, I did a review on it and I love it. Purple Cap, fucking great. That is now better than Armani Luminous Silk. It's like, that's all I need. That's all I need in my collection. So I am now on board with all the... Not that I've ever been off board, but I'm now even more on board with trying drugstore stuff. Some of it's trash, some of it's great. But when you find some really good stuff, you can get foundation. Like, I got my Maybelline foundation half price. It was like 17 Australian dollars. And I'm like...
That's good. Yes.
Saves me hundreds of dollars. Thank you very much.
Correct.
So I'm hoping that this is good.
I have been thinking recently that I kind of want to go to like Priceline or Chemist Warehouse when they're having one of their makeup sales and buy a full face of like drugstore makeup to try, because I haven't done it in years.
Get that foundation, Hailey. Get that foundation.
Kat just convinced me with the... Yeah, can you send me a photo of it, please?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, I will give that a go for sure.
Speaking of Maybelline, while I'm at the shops buying the L'Oreal thing, I may as well buy one of these as well. It's coming soon though. But this is the Lifter Glaze Oil Balms. So they're lip balms, so lip oils in a stick formulation. They're supposed to provide a sheer tint and a glazed, shiny finish. So it's got cherry extract, hyaluronic acid, non-sticky formula, sheer but buildable colour, and melts upon the lips. And that just sounds great. 10 shades. This is also something... I also like the shades. They've got a good range between clear, soft pink, vibrant pink, red, peachy colours, caramels, berries, like dark browns. I think I would buy one of these too. So for some reason, drugstore brands are really coming through with the goods, and I am here because it's much more affordable.
It is, yes. And if the formula is nice and the colours are right and it wears well on the skin, like, I'm all for it. Give it to me.
I've been converted to that Maybelline foundation. That's all I'm saying.
We have a new limited edition collection from NARS. I feel like we haven't really talked about a limited edition collection from NARS in a while. I mean, the holiday collection, but that was...
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, that was
just
sad
gold,
and
wasn't it?
boring. And yeah, everyone has repressed that memory. This is the sun-inspired collection from NARS. It is so like resort / like holiday mode-ish that I've seen in a long time. So there's the Hot Escape Cheek Palette. It's $49 and it comes in 4 shade varieties. You've got light, medium, medium deep, and deep. We've got the Hot Escape Afterglow Lip Oil in 4 shades. This is $28. A Mini Laguna Bronzer and Lip Oil Duo, which is $32. And finally, we've got the Total Seduction Eyeshadow Sticks. These are also $32 and they come in 8 shades. This is available now. Kat and I saw it in the shops recently. Why did I not swatch it? I think I'd intended to come back to it and then I just didn't. I think it's really cute. I love the packaging.
I love the packaging too, but the products I think are the same generic. If you've got it one NARS palette,
I was just going to say that.
You don't need another one, but the stripes are very enticing.
I agree.
They've got me with the stripes, but I'm not buying it.
Had a really beautiful, like, compact eyeshadow palette that had pretty, like, sparkly eyeshadows in it. So when the sun hits your eyes, they twinkle, and some nice, like, beach or pool friendly, like sheer-ish matte eyeshadows for creating some depth and dimension. Like, fucking would have bought the shit out of it.
Yeah. Also, if they just didn't assume that everyone with lighter skin wants bubblegum pink blushes, if they had like one that was more like peachy orange, I probably would have bought that lightest one. If you wanted your blush sticks bold, we've got Smashbox coming through with some limited edition hot sticks without the eye because they're cool, guys. So we've got a pink one, an ultraviolet one, a poppy one, and like a orange red one. So these are mainly just blush sticks. They are what they are. I suppose you can use them on your lips as well. To be fair, the colours do draw me in. Especially the orange. Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm loving that
now I want the orange.
Yeah, we're seeing more, like, interesting blush shades. I like that.
Look,
it's been pink-dominated for decades.
It has been pink-dominated for decades. And I also think what is probably the key thing with these, if you love an orange blush and you like a stick formulation, you know, go get it now, as well as purple. Bright purple... Yeah. Very hard to find. This ultraviolet,
absolutely.
If purple suits you, go and get it. Show brands, like vote with your money that you want more of them because they can be really cool, but very, very hard to get. So that's interesting.
100%. I agree. Now, if creams and sticks and things like that aren't your jam, you want some powders. Westman Atelier has some new face powder duos. There's 2 versions. So there's a Baby Cheeks and Face Trace Sculpting Powder Duo. This comes in 3 shades. And these are more like bronzy-ish, kind of. And then we've got the Baby Cheeks Powder Blush Duos. These also come in 3 shades. They're going to be available April 4th, so they're not out just yet. But they say that they have a micro-milled powder that meets phytosqualane and antioxidants for a lush, lightweight finish. Again, pink dominated.
All right, that's all the makeup, but we do have fragrance news. We're not going to talk about too many things, but what we are talking about is fairly interesting. And I'm going to start with some breaking news. This is a brand new Latafa Camera. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you're into Middle Eastern fragrances, or you just have been aware of fragrances on the internet, Latafa Camera is actually the most popular fragrance on Fragrantica. Like,
wow,
most people have it, most people review it. It's the #1 fragrance. Now, it is a very spicy, sweet, date-like unisex fragrance. It's supposed to last like crazy. I've tried it. It's very strong. I actually can't wear it. It's too strong. They did bring out a coffee version, which people loved as well. And now they're bringing out a 3rd version. So this is actually big news. I only found out about it today and I'm like, oh my God, this is exciting. So this is Camera Dukan, I think, or Dukan. That
Dukan,
sounds like
maybe?
sounds like a
Yeah.
fight. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever, the spelling's on the screen, but essentially the bottle differences is, so the original one had a clear bottle, the coffee version had a brown sort of ombre from the bottom. This one has a purple sort of ombre from the bottom. It's interesting. It's got notes of saffron, leather, bergamot, mandarin, rose, amberwood, patchouli, salted caramel, sandalwood, vanilla, oak moss, musk. So it's still in that, probably it's quite intense, probably got some sweetness to it, but I'm looking forward to reviews on this because it's big news. It is big news.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't even like the range because it's too strong for me, but I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, let's have a little chat about Fleur. So we've got 2 new releases. Vanilla Smoke is a hair and body fragrance mist that they have released. This one is supposed to add intrigue to your fragrance wardrobe. Top notes of bergamot, pink pepper, and birch. Heart notes are cacao blanc, cashmere vanilla, and tonka bean, yum. And base notes are incense, Peru balsam, and amber. This one, I believe, is available now. And if you're not really into like hair and body fragrance, but you want an eau de parfum, Rose Whip is their newest release. So this one opens with a delicate dance, a velvety rose, delectable blackcurrant, and honey osmanthus. Yum. The top notes are pink pepper, blackcurrant, heart is rose, osmanthus, and nutmeg, and the base is amber, cashmere wood, and musk. Again, this is out now if you're into it. My only issue with this, everything about it sounds pretty good to me, but the rose.
I think, rose can be good these days. I think we're sort of stuck in the era of rose being really like gross and nana, but I think rose can be really good. What I get from this, which is interesting, is this is more like autumny scents, which is we're in autumn at the moment, but the majority of the world is coming into spring. So this seems like a bit of a weird release. This next one though makes more sense when it comes to getting into the warmer weather, and this is from Replica. So they've got a new fragrance. By the way, we tried Afternoon Delight it's finally released in Australia. How long has it been? 6 months? My God. And it's very underwhelming, just putting it out there. But this new Replica one is called Never Ending Summer. And it's supposed to be like a bright citrusy one, a little bit of woody, a little bit of aromatics. So it's saying the key notes are Italian spritz-accord, bitter orange, and vetiver. The top notes, spritz-accord, bitter orange, pepper, and then middle notes, Earl Grey, cardamom. I don't know muscade or muscadet essences, but that's in there. And then the base notes, vetiver, cedarwood, and patchouli. So, yeah, again, I think this sounds kind of quite unisex, which all fragrances are unisex. You wear what you want to wear.
Yeah.
But I love the bitter orange, Earl Grey tea, Aperol kind of vibe. I would smell the bejesus out of this personally. But I have been very disappointed recently about Replica. I don't feel like their new ones have been doing very well. So
I agree. Look, I'm hopeful on this one because the notes sound good and the fragrance description on the bottle is refreshing bright orange. And to me, I'm like, I know what that smells like in my brain. Like I can already sort of get it going up there. But I think that's where I fall a little bit flat with Replica because sometimes I'm like, I know what that should smell like based on their description. And then I smell it and I'm like, no, that's not it.
That's not it. Yeah, very much.
Why are you ruining this for me? How dare you? I actually think that can be Replica's like big downfall because when you are connecting a scent with a memory
or a feeling, like they're conjuring this sort of experience and then it doesn't meet it, you're like,
it can be a bit risky, I think. Yeah. But that's it. That is beauty news for March. We hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let us know, first of all, your thoughts on Point of View or POV Beauty in the comments. We want to know what you think. Will you try it? What do you think? Just give us your thoughts. Let us know what your favorite release for the month was, anything you're going to pick up, what you're excited about, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
See ya.